Good morning, traders. I'm Emily Bonney, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Monday, February 26th. Today's moves follow a mixed but ultimately muted session in the markets on Friday. The S&P 500 and Dow were able to hang on to gains. The S&P 500 added a point or 0.03%. The Dow gained 62 points or 0.16%. The NASDAQ ended with a slight loss, closing in the red just more than 0.25%. Bill, let's get into a new week with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Yes, good morning, Emily. I'm watching the S&Ps. We're flat to lower. We're down 0.01%. We were higher, 0.04, but not now. It's giving that back a little bit. It's kind of directionless. This week, the week ahead, it's packed with economic announcements, quality earnings reports. I mean, that's really what's going to be in focus this week is earnings and economic reports. You look at who's coming out with earnings this week. You got Zoom Video, you got Workday, you got Macy's, you got Lowe's, BIDU, TJ Maxx, Salesforce, Snowflake, Anheuser-Busch, Hewlett-Packard, actually both HPs, Autodesk, and Dell, and others like Zscaler. So we got a lot of good earnings still to come. And the economic reports, there's kind of a big one every day this week. And on Thursday, it's really going to be the inflationary report, the PCE report that's coming out that that's going to be getting a lot of attention. You also got a lot of inflation reports coming out of Europe, Germany, Spain, and France this week as well. You look over at the Gaza situation, ceasefire talks are said to be moving forward. Gaza's not that big. I'm surprised, that the incursion lasted as long as it has. But they are talking ceasefire talks. You're looking at stocks over in Europe this morning. And they're mixed. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, you got the DAX trading higher, but only by 5 points, which is 0.03%. You get the FTSE, that's down 18 points or 0.24%. You're seeing some weakness in energy and minerals and mining stocks this morning. The CAC luxury stocks are trading a little lower. That's down 0.35%. Nothing crazy. In Asia last night, you talk. The Nikkei hit another record high, up 135 points or 0.35%. Hong Kong fell 91 points or 0.54%. In China, Shanghai finally fell. It dropped 27 points or 0.93% after rising for like eight straight sessions. I think a lot of that increase in China was due to government buying those ETFs, which is what they had said they were going to do. Moody's came out and they downgraded they didn't downgrade, they took off rating 11 companies because of lack of quality of data, let's say. China's going to be a little bit of a cautious trade for the next few months, that's for sure. We're keeping an eye on oil. Oil is trading off this morning, down about 0.5%. You got the WTI at $76.10 a barrel. You got Brent trading $81.19 a barrel. The key aspect with oil, is that, there's concerns on demand. A lot of these ex-OPEC nations are, increasing their production. There's cause for concern for oil. Oil is, trading that kind of elevated. I wouldn't be surprised if, you get a Gaza peace agreement, which could actually cause oil prices to fall further. But we'll have to wait and see if that happens. But that's what I have for you in terms of a morning markets update report, Emily.
We start a new week, taking that big, broad overview of what to look ahead to, what we're sort of keeping an eye on this week, helps us get into trading. And you mentioned earnings action, a number of big companies coming out, and also, important economic data each day of the week. And we're going to break those down for our listeners. Each day, each morning, the market is open. So let's start here with earnings action. Bill, what is going on there?
We're going to start off with PPG, Paul Grace. This is Pilgrim's Pride. They beat by 19 cents, and they did that on higher revenue. You look at the stock this morning, it is trading lower by about 2%. Very widespread, though, very widespread. Domino's Pizza, ticker DPZ, David Paul Zebra, they beat by 10 cents, and they did that on higher revenue. You look at Domino's Pizza, it's up 4.69% this morning. Fresh Pet, ticker FR, PT, Frank, Richard, Paul, Tom. The call volume was out of this world on Thursday. Fresh Pet beat by 26 cents on higher revenue. You look at the stock this morning, it's up 12.69%. Then you got PSE&G, that's ticker PEG, Paul Edward Grace. They beat by 2 cents on higher revenue. Stock hasn't yet traded, very widespread this morning. Upcoming earnings, we got Workday, ticker WDAY. EPS is $1.44. Expected move is 10.40%. Zoom Video, ticker ZM. Their EPS is $1.15. Expected move is 8.18%. Macy's is coming out tomorrow morning. Their EPS is $2.02. Expected move is 10.46%. And let's not forget Lowe's, ticker LOW. Their EPS is $1.68. And their expected move is 4.64% when they release tomorrow morning, Emily.
And now, Bill, onto the economic reports and events of the day. Each day we have sort of something to keep an eye on, keeping track of all of this data to get a feel for the health of the economy and, of course, what the Fed is going to do next at their upcoming meetings in 2024. So, Bill, give us a rundown of the day's economic events.
At 10 a.m., we get the new home sales. At 10:30 a.m., we get the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Survey. At 7:40 p.m. Eastern Time, you're going to be hearing from Kansas City Fed Bank President Jeffrey Schmidt. The new home sales are going to be interesting. I mean, the outlook from Fannie Mae suggests a cautious, optimistic view of the housing market for this year. They expect new home sales to grow modestly due to, lower mortgage rates, which are on the horizon. But you still got to deal with the high prices. So, we'll see if how the existing home sales come out when they're released this morning at 10 a.m., Emily.
And Bill, you're going to be able to see this information as it comes out because you have an economic alert set up in your NewsWare. Of course, you have earnings alerts set up, and then you have alerts set up for other types of news, merger news, guidance news, shareholders meetings, buyback news. You also can set up alerts for specific stocks or stocks grouped together, like your FANG stocks, your Dow 30 stocks. And when you're preparing for the trading day and the trading week ahead, you're checking your alerts in the morning. You're able to see all the important information very quickly, gather data, and make smart moves on the day. So, Bill, what else do you see is possibly moving the markets today?
Just doing a quick data check. I'm looking at my Dow stocks. I got 16. I got 11 that are higher, 16 that are lower. The rest are unchanged. I'm looking at my FANG stocks. They're mixed. I will say, Google's taken really is down the most, down 0.75%. Amazon's up the most, up a little over 0.5%. We're talking like some news that has hit the tape this morning. Apple, they said to be considering the development of a fitness ring and smart glasses. Smart glasses are really the way to go. Someone develops quality smart glasses, that would really be a boom. Google says Microsoft offered to sell Bing, the internet browser, to Apple in 2018. So what? Meta, Florida lawmakers passed a bill to ban social media accounts for children under age of 16 years old. We're talking Dow Jones 30 stocks. Let's talk Amazon for a second. Amazon is replacing Walgreens in the Dow Jones 30 effective today. That's why Amazon's trading a little higher by 0.5%. We'll see if it's able to hold on to that gain today. Disney is said to be appears to be in a deal with Reliance to sell 60% of its India media unit to Reliance. Intel announced a new edge platform for scaling AI applications. That's positive. And let's take a look at Walmart. Walmart's trading higher this morning. Ticker WMT. William Michael Tom. That stock split effective today. It's trading 58.94 to 58.98. What else do we see? Mergers. Alcoa. Alcoa agrees to buy Australian Illuminary for $2.2 billion. Remember, Alcoa used to be a Dow stock, and as always, these when you get replaced out of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, you typically start to have a better momentum in your stock price. I remember when Alcoa was trading at like $17 when it was replaced out of the Dow, and you look at the stock now, it's 25. I remember it was trading 35, but Alcoa, did have a nice move after being taken out of the Dow, and a lot of that their pricing is based on aluminum prices. But you look at Alcoa this morning; they are buying out an Australia company for $2.2 billion, and the stock is down 3.4% as a result. In terms of guidance news, ticker LI, Larry India, that's Lee Auto. they came out with earnings. The stock's up 11% this morning. They see Q1 revenue coming in 4.4 billion to 4.53 billion. Street estimate is 5.43 billion. That's a big downtick. It stock's up 11%. PSE&G, ticker PEG, Paul Edward Grace, they reaffirmed full year 2024 EPS of $3.60 to $3.70. Street estimate is $3.68. Okay. What else we got for you today? Shareholders meetings, Presto Automation, that's ticker PRST, Paul Richard, Sam Tom, they're having a shareholders meeting today at 1 p.m. In terms of buyback news, ticker FIS, Frank India Sam, they're increasing their share repurchasing goal by 500 million. And Domino's Pizza, ticker DPZ, David Paul Zebra, their board approved an additional 1 billion into their share repurchasing program. 1 billion Domino's Pizza, DPZ. That's what I have for you this morning in terms of news hitting the tape, Emily.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. It is now that time of the show for the Trade Talk Pick of the Day. Bill, what's your pick to start this week?
I'm going to go with Workday, ticker WDAY, William David Apple Yellow. Earnings are out after the bell. EPS is $1.44. Expected move here is 10.40%. And you're looking at the call volume from Friday. You had 5,606 calls traded against 4,247 puts. 5606 to 4247. And that's positive. Looking at the call open interest, you got 29,230 versus puts of 24,914. Yeah, that's positive too. Okay. And look at what are the brokers saying? The major brokers are positive on the stock. They have been raising price targets. That's good to see. For me to get into the stock, I really got to get into the 306 area. I don't want to be paying 307. I want to get in at 306.11, kind of, 306.20, somewhere around there, which I think is doable. We'll have to wait and see how this market opens up. But Workday, could really be in for a big move. Don't want to hold it into earnings. I want to make my money today on it. But ticker WDAY looks poised for a nice move higher this morning before earnings are announced. So that's my pick of the day. Workday, hopefully 306, 306.50 area.
And Bill, putting those pieces of the puzzle again today, that earnings, doing a play ahead of earnings, looking for that specific entry point and putting all those pieces of data that you have together to make your call. And coming up, we're going to see if that strategy worked on Friday when we do a recap of Friday's pick of the day. So stick with us. But first, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, take it away.
I see that the EU adopted Euro instant payment rules to take on Visa and MasterCard. Look at Visa's trading slightly off this morning. Humana, ticker HUM, Henry Uncle Mary, they announced some strategic partnerships this morning. Steel Dynamics, STLD, increased its quarterly dividend 8% to 46 cents. I see Disney, Blackwell presents its 5-point strategic plan for Disney to recapture lost ground. Disney knows what they're doing. Micron, ticker MU, begins volume production of its HP M3E solution. Ticker NERV, Nancy Edward Richard Victor. They got a PDUFA date that's today for their for an FDA decision on its schizophrenia treatment. That could be big. NERV, Nancy Edward Richard Victor. Intel announced a new edge platform. Ryanair will receive fewer Boeing aircraft by the end of June than previously expected. Meta Platforms, the company will set up a team to tackle disinformation and abuse of generative AI in the run-up to the European Parliament elections in June. I see United Airlines became the third major U.S. airline to hike checked baggage fees for customers traveling in North America. American Airlines did it on the 24th of February. Yeah, JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon was selling stock when the stock hit 180. Apparently had a pre-done sell order in order to sell stock if it ever did hit 180. When it did that on last week, he started selling some shares. That's concerning. That's all I'm seeing this morning.
Okay, Bill, before we get to trading on this Monday morning, let's take a look back at Friday and do that check in on your pick of the day, which was Public Service Enterprise Group, ticker PEG. You did give us a look at this stock during your earnings rundown. They did report earnings this morning. They reported a Q4 EPS of 59 cents. That was anywhere better than 2 cents to 7 cents better than the analyst estimates. And revenue for the quarter came in at $2.61 billion versus the consensus of $2.4 billion. You also gave us that guidance note during your NewsWare alerts. You did mention during your earnings rundown that it hasn't opened up for trading. It's sort of hanging in there. So, Bill, how did your call work out?
It hasn't really worked out. I mean, you look at the stock on Friday, it opened up at $60.62. Then it did hit a high of 61. It did close, higher than the open. It did, close at $60.75. Earnings are up. We're waiting to see what happens. This is not unusual for a stock like this. This is a boring stock. It's a utility. But the utilities are kind of hot right now. So wait for it. I do think it's gonna, show some gains when the stock does open up. It might not open up until the market opens up, but I still think this is a work in progress. Ticker PEG, Paul, Edward, Grace, Emily.
Boring, not necessarily bad. So we're going to still keep an eye on this one, see if there's still a chance for a gain. And we will also check in with you tomorrow about today's workday pick of the day to see if there's a chance for a gain there. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow and each weekday morning at NewsWare's Trade Talk, when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Bonney, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.